Hello and welcome to the VectorVest University. My name is Cathy O'Nan. I'm the Manager of Internal Training, and it's my pleasure to present to you this week's special presentation entitled Protecting Profits with the Genius. The Genius is a powerful tool within the VectorVest program that can make your life easier, protect your profits, and thus improve your overall performance. In trading, if not careful, we become too emotional. We have a plan, but we fail to execute. Think about sports. Success or failure of a play can be in the execution. We see it in football, but for me, I often see it in my golf swing. I have the right club, I have the right setup, but in mid-swing, I have doubts, and then I fail with my execution and my follow-through. As this statement implies, we don't need to be extraordinary. We just need to do ordinary things extraordinarily well. As with any job, having the right tools can make the job so much easier and efficient. And I'll be describing that tool within VectorVest called the Genius. But let's start first and foremost with our market timing. We all want to buy low and sell high, and here's the secret: market direction. It's the single most important factor in assessing a stock's likely price movement. On Wednesday of this week, I went to Yahoo Finance and checked the futures. And this is a snapshot of the screen showing the S&P 500, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. All futures were up at that time. My next step was to look at the views for guidance. I went to Monday's views, and here's a snapshot of October the 5th, 2015. And I was looking at the summary of the color guard and our strategy and our guidance. Prudent investors may bargain hunt and bottom fish as the market rises. Aggressive investors and traders should play the market with a bias to the upside. Each and every day we give you the benefit of the 1-day and 5-day Derby winners. Below you see the 1-day Derby winners, and notice some are bottom fishing. The S&P 500 small cap /RT, Blair's bottom fishing and rising industry, and then we had some technical searches coming to the top. Below the 5-day winners, notice the top one was also bottom fishing and rising industries with a 22.5% gain over a 5-day period, and with it being the top of the list in the 5-day and also being included in the 1-day, we call that a match for the easy rider strategy. My next step is I went to the Tuesday views to see the guidance there as well. Continuing to buy stocks only on up days. Aggressive investors and traders play the market as it develops. So with checking the futures, I again look at the 1-day and the 5-day Derby winners. In the 1-day, we have those technical crossovers, but I also notice bottom fishing and rising industries is still in the group with a very nice gain of 8.12%. And it's also in the 5-day Derby winners as well. So it is a match again for the easy rider strategy. My next step on Wednesday, I let the market open. So at about 10 o'clock a.m., I checked the Derby leaderboard, and at the top of the list, there's my match, bottom fishing and rising industries. And I was checking the details of the Derby from the market open. My next step was to create a portfolio using the return in the bottom fishing and rising industry strategy. I'll take you through how easy it is to build a portfolio in just a moment, but I want to review the results that I had using this technique and how I optimized it by using the Genius. Dr. DeLito wrote an essay back on September the 11th, so just a few weeks ago, about bottom fishing for short-term profits. Mr. Jim Penna did the special presentation that week on using the Derby to benefit from these short-term profits. I'll now show you the technique of using two portfolios. The first one I built, I used the top 10 stocks, built the portfolio, and had no stop criteria for the day. So let's take a look at those results. Here's a list of the stocks that I purchased. It was a portfolio of $100,000, buying the 10 stocks that were in the portfolio. Why 10? Think about going to the horse track and you're betting on a horse. Are you better to bet on one horse or give yourself a shot with betting on 10 horses? I bought all 10 with an average cost basis of close to $10,000 on each of these. At the end of the day, this is the results. I was up $622.04 for a return of 0.62%. Now let's see how I did using the Genius to manage my emotion and have a methodical trading plan. Notice we have the Genius on, and I used a 5% trailing stop. Throughout the day, I was stopped out on all but one stock. The one stock I had remaining at the end of the day, I closed, and here's my net results. I was up $2,900.85 for a return of 2.9%. The difference in the return, 2.9 versus 0.62 on a $100,000 portfolio, that's a difference in one day of $2,278.81. That's a lot for one day. This is very close to a profit that would pay for a VectorVest real-time subscription, including the Derby add-on tool. Using this trailing stop with the Genius to remind me when to exit my positions greatly enhanced my performance. This morning, on Thursday, I checked the futures and the futures were down. I'm happy that I sold that basket of stocks and took my profits and moved on to the next day of trading. Now we'll move over into the VectorVest program, and I'll show you the mechanics on how easy this fabulous tool is to use. Here we are in the Derby tab. As of time of recording, we have Nomo Mojo inverted as the leading Derby winner from market open. Notice in the summary section, we have a list of bullish and bearish strategies. Currently, 22 or 73% of the bearish strategies are winning, and out of the bullish, 47%. It's always prudent to check market timing, so we'll move to the Home tab, and we see now the market has changed slightly. The Dow has started to recover, the MTI is rising slightly, and I'll look at our advances and declines. We see this is improving. So with that information and a green light in the price column, we see the tide could be turning. So going back to the Derby, it's always important to find the equity curve that is continuing to rise from lower left to upper right. Under stinky stocks to sell short, notice in a slight pullback. You would check these until you find one that is continuing to rise. With that green light in the price column, one of the Derby winners I find taking the lead is price volume winners. It's a bullish long, and we have the basket of 10 stocks. We can either cherry pick through these and only choose the winners and build a portfolio. We can highlight these individually, choosing the winners by right-clicking and creating a quick folio. We'll call this price volume. It is a long strategy, and we'll click OK and open our portfolio now. When opening the portfolio, we see we're currently down slightly because we did spend $9.95 per trade on these shares. Now that I'm holding these stocks, I need to let the Genius do its work for me. I'll go to the settings, build a custom trading plan. I'll remove market timing. I'm bottom fishing for a short-term profit, so I do want to include a stop criteria to manage my emotions. On this one, I'll use a trailing stop. I can use the single arrows for small deductions or double arrows to take this down. I'll use a 5% trailing stop. Hit finish. Now I have the Genius, and I have the question, do you want the Genius on or off? I want it on. I want it to work for me and guide me through today's trading. I'll click Save, and now I have the Genius on, watching for me to give me the indication if I need to sell any of these stocks. And it's implemented my stop criteria. If I scroll to the right, I'll then see my gain or loss on each stock. Again, we're recovering from that $9.95 per trade. Under the graph, we can change the settings and change from an end of day to an intraday graph. And that's what we like to see, this graph rising. Now I can be alerted to any trades that I need to trade in several ways. I have my alerts here in my bottom left-hand corner. Also under the Tools, Application Settings, under the Alerts tab, you can set your alerts by email. You can also click on the blank line, Edit, and you can add a text message. So now you can receive on your smartphone alerts throughout the day for any trades that you may need to close. I've moved us back to the Derby. The Derby is a fabulous tool to watch throughout the day to notice the changes in the bullish and the bearish strategies and their percentages of who has control of the board. Moving back to the Home tab to check current conditions, now that we see our green light in the price column, an improvement in the buy to sell ratio, an improvement in the MTI, and an improvement in the VectorVest composite price. With our guidance, the color guard is mildly bullish. VectorVest advocates caution when buying stocks at this time. With our dashboard, I'll pull this up and we see the VectorVest composite is rising. Here is our advances and our declines. So now that this has reversed course throughout the day, if I'm comfortable going bottom fishing again and want to be a little bit more aggressive because my primary wave is up, let's move back to the Unisearch tab and look at that bottom fishing folder. From Unisearch in the left-hand side, we have our searches. We have searches bottom fishing. Notice several of these have the title that have divided by RT at the end. This finds stocks with lower relative timing. We're looking for stocks that have been pulled down by the market. I've chosen our bottom fishing in rising industries by running the search, returning the top 10, moving to the right-hand side of the local toolbar. I'll hit Quick Folio Top 10. I'll choose bottom fishing in rising industries, and this is a long strategy, and click OK. I now have the portfolio with my purchases, and I can use my settings. I can build my custom trading system and apply market timing if I wish, or if I'm doing short-term profits, I'll go ahead and add my stop criteria. Click Save, and now my Genius is on. Another great tool within the VectorVest program, by highlighting the stocks and right-clicking, I now have the option to trade now. Here's a snapshot of the screen. I've taken the snapshot to remove my account number, of course, and values, but this is an actual preview of how I would add the quantity of shares that I'm purchasing with this great tool that bridges over to TradeKing, and we'll be adding other brokerages later as well. And we can go ahead and preview and add the orders directly from the VectorVest program, bridging over to TradeKing. Thank you for your attendance of Protecting Profits with the Genius. I hope you see by using the Derby you have some great opportunities for some short-term profits, and using the Genius. The Genius can guide you away from your emotions, implement your trading plan, and keep you disciplined for better success in trading, protecting those profits, and enhancing your returns.